you remember the video where I did my voice reveal, I took a look at a map called Parkour Room, and I said in that video that the unique feature about Parkour Room was that it was sort of an ongoing project and that it would get better and better with every update. Well, about that, I got in touch with the creator of the map, who goes by like a dozen different names, and he told me that he completed the map, at least for now. So I guess I gotta look at it again, huh? The very first thing you'll notice right away is that the spawn room is pretty much unrecognizable. There's a billboard stretched out on the floor for some reason. There is a whole new alternative path of extra points. The bed has been changed, and its boost ramp has been kind of nerfed. There are numerous barrels and objects on the floor. There's a tree in the corner, which, how does this hitbox even make sense? This is even worse than the noob cars. Then you have the most interesting change, being that one of the walls is now a window that you can destroy and go into the outside area. Stepping out here doesn't grant you any points though, and there isn't a shortcut either, so there's no reason to go here. But at least we can tell that this sky is blue now compared to the black sky before. And then you have that weird second path with the fake platforms that provided a shortcut to the second room without providing any points of its own. Well, now the shortcut takes you to the third room as well, acting as sort of a warp zone. This means that if you don't care about getting all the points and you just want to see the end, you won't even have to do the second room at all. Speaking of points, in the older version there were a total of 176 points, and it took me a little over a whole hour to get all of them. Now the map contains not 176 points, but 471 points. Yeah, if you're gonna try and do all the points, it could probably take you almost 3 hours. So I'm not really gonna bother this time. I'm just gonna reach the end. As a matter of fact, the updated map seems to be designed in a way that's less about the points and more about the distance. I mean, why else would the map let you skip a whole room? But aside from the spawn area, all of the rooms showcased in my original video are pretty much the same, except for a few tiny things. Rooms 2 and 3 both have ladders that lead to the preceding rooms in case you miss something, and yeah, they're pretty fast. There is also a red overhang thing in between rooms 3 and 4 that kills you if you touch it. It's placed right over a place where you have to jump to continue. And this bar is here specifically to catch cheaters who try to play this map with low gravity or high jump. So if you think you want to fly your way to the end, then too bad for you. Room 4, yeah, that one, has a shortcut that cuts a decent portion of the room in half, making it just a little more bearable. But beyond that, there really isn't anything new in the map until you get to what used to be the end. And the long road you walk forward on for 5 minutes straight is gone, and in its place, you are supposed to climb this ladder on the side. Wait, hold on. How is it that this one ladder you absolutely have to climb takes ages to climb, yet the whoopsie ladders boost you up no problem? Kinda weird, but anyways, once you reach the top of the ladder, things start to get pretty real. From here on out, it's all new rooms and stuff. The first new room is similar to the shortcut in the beginning with the fake blocks and stuff, but this time, it's points galore. If you thought the points were random before, well, you ain't seen anything. And what is this? Wall surfing? Something other than just jumping? Yes and no. While the jumps aren't actually wall surfing sections, there very clearly were surf sections at some point and have been changed because wall running is bugged. A few more rooms of jumping, a maze, and a few ladders, and you reach this part, which is the new last room of parkour in this map. I said in my old video that the original map had difficulty issues, not because the map was too hard, but because of the difficulty curve. Long story short, the map started easy, then got hard, and then got a little easy again. And the ending, conspiracy aside, was kind of anticlimactic. The drop off in difficulty just left a lot to be desired, but when the map was updated, the difficulty curve changed so that it started easy, got hard, got easy again, and then out of nowhere, hell. And surprisingly, I came really close to getting it first try, until I'm fine. But eventually, like 23 times later, I survived, and I powered through. And when you beat this one last room of parkour, you reach the end. Now, I have to give a spoiler alert here, because the ending is pretty different than what you'd expect. The ending is something you'd probably want to see for yourself, and if you want to see it, then you should follow the instructions in the description below to play the map. Now, in the old parkour room, the end wasn't really the end, but it was merely a placeholder, a promise of more to come. And now, with this map map basically finished and the old end abandoned, this is the real end. This is where everything finally comes to a close. And it's probably one of the most interesting endings to any map I've ever played. You see, there's no parkour or jumping on blocks, neither is there any real challenge or danger at all. Instead, it's this huge open area with points all over the place where you run around, explore, and try and find all the points and literally just chill. It's probably the most easygoing ending I've ever seen, which is very welcome, especially after the last room. Compare that to other maps that just sort of end, like, yay, you finished, you want a medal for that? It's also kind of interesting, sticking with the concept of life that the old end sort of rushed upon. You see, for pretty much the whole map, you're working as hard as you can, trying to get as many points as possible, going through what may as well be the largest parkour map on Crunker. And once you reach either the old end or the new end, you can't really go back to any of the other sections. While the old end was just a dead end, no pun intended, the new end is more of an area of freedom, of life. As a matter of fact, Parkour Room as a whole could be representative of life. The trials, ups and downs, and the impact of one's life represented by the marathon of rooms, wild difficulty curves, and all of the points and the jumps that you have to make. And this ending here represents retirement, I guess. Reaching this part is sort of a badge of honor, saying you did it. It's proof that you didn't rage quit like I almost did. But furthermore, it represents the dream many people have, the dream of success. You have to run the marathon of life before you can retire, relax, and finally enjoy yourself for once. Okay, this is boring. In all seriousness though, you have to at least try to reach the ending, at least once, because it's honestly worth it. To see what Parkour Room has turned into over the months is pretty mind-blowing. This map is now probably the biggest parkour map ever, and even if the parkour itself is meh, it's still one hell of a run. And now that the map is supposedly finished, I can say that it has come to an appropriate conclusion.